Here I have a case study that demonstrates the issues that can arise when people fail to optimize their acquisition settings. In theory, this user had a very simple question, which was to find out if the marker, which is labeled in blue, was present in the cells, which are labeled purple. When I looked at the file, the first thing that stood out was the file size, which was 61.5 gigabytes. This is uncommonly large, and you usually only see a file of this size in very specific circumstances. The next warning was when I tried to open the image, it took around 45 minutes to open. And when I looked at the settings, I calculated that it probably took around 48 minutes to acquire. All of these things taken together should have acted as a warning sign that something was wrong with the imaging setup. After looking at the image for a while, there were a couple of things that could have been changed to optimize the imaging here. First, the area that was imaged with tiling could have been limited only to the area of interest, which is where the purple cells are. If you needed to see the whole tissue, you could have taken a low resolution overview at a lower magnification. The next thing that you could have improved was the Z-stack setup. Here you can see from the XZ perspective that around 60% of the slices are empty. Another thing to do here would have been to crop the image post-acquisition. This would have meant reducing the file size by 40 gigabytes and would have made it much easier to manage this data afterwards, even if a mistake was made. Another thing to point out is that the image is extremely oversampled. The objects that they want to image, these blue markers, are around 2 microns in size, but the pixel size is set at 0.15 microns, whereas the minimum requirement for resolving these structures would have been to have a pixel size of around 0.86 microns. So using the correct sampling would have made it approximately 6 times faster to acquire the image and the file size 6 times smaller. One last area of improvement would have been to switch from unidirectional scanning to bidirectional scanning, which would have halved the acquisition time. Set up correctly, this image should have taken around 5 minutes to acquire and only been a file size of about 1.6 gigabytes.